Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I have a video tutorial for you which is part of my ScanNCut versus Handcut series. But this is with a little bit of a twist. Follow me over to Canvas Workspace now and I'll explain to you what I mean by a twist. Now for all the videos that I've done recently for the ScanNCut versus Handcut series, I've started with the Handcut version and then worked out the dimensions to create a cutting file. In this case, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to start with the cutting file and then create a tutorial for the Handcut version. In this case, as you can see here on the screen, it's for a pop-up box card. This one is for a Mother's Day. I'm not necessarily going to make it for Mother's Day, but I will be following the pattern that is available in Canvas Workspace. I'll show you where to find it. It's over here. And if you just type in pop-up in the search bar, you'll see there is the Mother's Day pop-up box card. There's also one for Halloween. These are the same measurements. So both of those are exactly the same, the only difference being the kind of shapes that they have to cut out and decorate. We click on here. All you need to do is click on these mats here. I'm not going to use the Happy Mother's Day, so I'll just leave that one out. But I will click on that mat, on that one, and then finally on this. And then you have the video available so that you can go over and see how it's put together. It'll bring up a YouTube video for you to watch, or you can actually use the PDF file so that you can see how it's put together. Let's turn that off. So we'll go to the mat, and we've got all the pieces that we need for this. What I did was look at how it was composed. We've got all these panels here that have just been cut to that first score line and then continued on with score marks. There's a tab at the end, and then these pieces here make up the piece for the where you're going to place your decoration. So got the smallest one, which is this blue one here. And then we've got the tall one for the back, which is this. And then this will cover the back of that. We've got our mats, and then of course we've got all the decorations. So I've worked out on paper how I'm going to make this as a hand-cut version. I'm also going to send this over to the machine so that I can make a version from the Canvas Workspace project. We can look at both of them and compare them. So I'm ready now to send this to my machine. So I'll just export it. And it does say that there is an image that will not be exported. That's that Mother's Day picture of the pop-up box card. So that's fine. We don't need that. Some objects are outside. You see that here. So I need to bring in that shape there inside the red bounding line. Should be able to transfer it now. And there it is. So we just click on transfer via the internet. And now I can go to the machine, cut it out and put it together. And you can have a look at that, and then afterwards we'll make the hand-cut version. So stick with me, I'll show you how it's done. So I've worked out on paper how I'm going to make this as a hand-cut version. I'm also going to send this over to the machine so that I can make a version from the Canvas Workspace project. We can look at both of them and compare them. So I'm ready now to send this to my machine. So I'll just export it. And it does say that there is an image that will not be exported. That's that Mother's Day picture of the pop-up box card. So that's fine. We don't need that. Some objects are outside. You see that here. So I need to bring in that shape there inside the red bounding line. Should be able to transfer it now. And there it is. So we just click on transfer via the internet. And now I can go to the machine, cut it out and put it together. And you can have a look at that, and then afterwards we'll make the hand-cut version. So stick with me, I'll show you how it's done. I have the pieces cut out from the Canvas Workspace project, and I've made a few minor changes, mostly to do with the matting. But I have this basil cardstock, and it has, I don't know if you'll be able to make this out, but it has a very sort of shiny textured side on one side, and then it's just plain on the other. And I want these flaps that are going to come forward like that to be the shiny ones. So I've placed my folded and burnished the score lines so that those will fold outward like that. And then I've also made one change to the way the project was put together by brother, and that is to use this back piece here and change that by placing just another piece inside of here to give that a little bit more rigidity. And that's the only really big change that I've made to this. it will still fold flat though for posting. So let's put this together. We're going to put our tab here to the back, and I'm going to use a combination of this red liner tape. It's nearly finished here, but I'm going to use that. As I said, it's going to go together like that. So the smooth side is on the outside. Place that there. Now, I think it's probably best to go ahead and decorate it now before I actually put that tab together. So, as I said, it's going to go like this. So I've got some mats here, and they also have that sort of rounded corner there that are going to go here. And I've added mats for the bottom as well, which isn't called for in the project itself. So all I did was just cut my mats twice, and I also left out the Mother's Day sentiment here, because what they did is brother had the 3 sides matted like that, and then this was the sentiment. So I'm going to change mine up just a little bit. So I'm going to place it here like this. Those are down, and now I'm going to do the same on the bottom here. So I'm going to have these 4 mats here rather than just leaving them plain. So that goes like that. So we need to put these on the other side. Brother did in their video, if you watched that, rather than have these matted like I have, they took some ribbon, a wide piece of ribbon, and went all the way around, which was very nice indeed. But now I'm going to place on this back piece here where the tab is. Like I said, I've made well, I'm not going to do that actually. Just realized that I've placed the mat on this back piece when I intended to have this on there, and I had the mat for that cut out. But I don't think that's really too bad a mistake, because that is going to make that even stronger. So I am going to, I'll just leave this on and cover it with this piece. And I think my enthusiasm prevented me from using my brain there, so let's get that going to go there. Actually, I should go ahead and then now place this together so that we can cover that join as well. Let's go along with a little bit of glue here in addition to that tape. Fold that flat like that. And then I can come back in with my mat on the back here. I'll just cover that up. And then I have this piece for the layer on top of that mat. I didn't even bring it all the way down to the bottom. I just used the existing cut file to make this. Because there is another one of these that I put on there that's going to go into the back of one of the internal pieces. So and you see it still folds flat, but when you stand it up, that's going to be upright like that. And then we've got room on the back here where we can piece of white card that we can put a message on. A piece of card that I'm going to put here, and I could of course just used the mat shape to form that. I'm just going to use my corner rounder and cheat. So, let's get this down. This gives us somewhere to write a little message to whoever receives this. That goes there. And now we're ready to continue on with these pieces here. The pieces that are going to go onto the inside in here, and we will be attaching the various flowers and butterflies and so forth that came with the pattern. And I'm not necessarily going to do it exactly how they did it in the video, but I've got many of those shapes cut out. So I'm just going to fold along these score lines on these two pieces, and then they will attach with the tabs on the inside like that. Piece will actually go onto the back of this one. So I'm going to bring in all my flowers and leaves and butterflies now. I'm going to start putting these together and having a little bit of a play here where I want them to be. So this is going to be to the back, this one is going to be to to the front. So we're just going to place our decoration straight on to the card like that. A lot of fun putting that together. It's really quite simple. Most time actually just took trying to decide where I was going to place all my flowers and leaves and such. But it was very quick other than that. And so if you would like to see how I recreate this, well, something similar to it, as a hand-cut version of this pattern, then please stick with me and I'll show you how. For the hand-cut version, using the Canvas Workspace project, I've worked out the measurements for this, and I've got a piece of cardstock, and again, this is that basil, so it's got that same shiny surface, textured on one side and smooth on the other. And this is 11.5 by 5.5. And then I have these two pieces, which will be attached. The flowers and butterfly and leaves and such. And these are 3 3/4 by 4 1/4, and 3 3/4 by 3 1/4. So leave that there for you a moment if you want to take a look. And now I'll bring in the scoreboard. So for this, we're going to score every 2 3/4. So our first is 2 3/4. Next will be 5 1/2, 8 1/4, and then 11. So that gives us a 1/2 inch tab at the end. Then we're going to turn it to the short side, to the 5 1/2 inch side, and again we're going to score. I need to change that on here for you. This is going to be scoring at 2 3/4. So not 5 1/2. That would be ridiculous. So 2 3/4. So that'd be right down the middle. Okay. We've got these two pieces. All we're going to do is place them on the longer side and score them at 1/2 inch on either side. So 1/2 inch there, just turn it round and score it again at 1/2 inch. Or if you wanted to, you could score it, as you see here, at 1/2 inch and then at 3 3/4. For this one, we'll place it in here and also score it at 1/2 inch. And then 1/2 inch again, so that means that's going to be 2 3/4 once we fold those back, and that will be the size of the individual panels. So again, that's 1/2 inch and then 3 1/4. To start by folding and vanishing these score lines. Right. We have this narrow piece here, which is the tab. And then it doesn't matter which you have, top or bottom, because they're both the same size. You want to, first of all, remove one of these rectangles here. We're going to cut that little bump out as well, so I'm just going to go slightly to the left of that score line, and then on this side I'll go slightly to the right, and that's going to form our tab, which I can angle that there, like so. Right, now this is how it's going to go together, like that. So we want to have our tab here at the bottom. So now we're going to cut down each of these 3 score lines. Okay. So 1, just like was done in the ScanNCut version. Just make them a little classier, I think. Don't have a corner rounder, you don't need to do that, or you could just round it by just placing something circular there on the end. Perhaps a little coin would work, and cutting it out by hand. So that is going to go together like that. is to fold and burnish these score lines. And for these two pieces, I'm going to measure down about 3/4 of an inch should be enough. And that's going to free up that top portion so that we can round these corners as well. So just using my mat here to indicate where I'm going to cut those. And just snip that off. And I can also take a tiny little wedge out of that tab. Do the same on this side. Remove that altogether. And then just angle that. And do the same with the other piece. I'm also going to use this piece, which I've cut at 4 1/4. I think I cut this to by 2 3/4. Yes, that's 4 1/4. And this is what's going to reinforce the back of this piece. So I'm going to mat that into here like that. And I'll also round those corners. Okay. So I can glue that in place with this after I get this together. Sorry. And then it will cover that tab as well. So let's decorate this with the mats. Now I can have mats and layers, and I think that's what I'm going to do with this. So I've determined that the mats will be 2 1/2 inches square, and then the layer will be 2 1/4. Now if you don't want to have a mat, then just cut your decorative paper to 2 1/2. Bring in the pieces that I've got cut for the mats and layers. Set these other pieces aside here. So I'm going to use the white cardstock for my mat. So these are 2 1/2 inches square. And then the layer is going to be 2 1/4. I'll attach these. You start with the flaps on the top. So I want to round these corners. And they're going to go onto here like that. These are going to be the pieces that I'm going to mat the bottom half along here, so it'll be all the way around the bottom. So I've got 4 of these. With the mats all done now, we can start putting this together. So I'm going to use some red liner tape again. Going to fold in like that. So we want to put our tape here. Lift that backing piece off. You can just fold it over like that. It's flat. You can press that down. Okay. So now that that is attached, we've got that tab that we can cover up now with this piece that is going to go up to the top like that. And as I said when I was making the one from Canvas Workspace, just adding this gives it a little more stability, and it does not interfere with folding it flat. So you'll still be able to fold this down exactly the same if you did not have that piece. But it just helps it to stand nice and erect there. Right, now for the fun bit, the decorating. So I've got a load of die cuts. I just went through my dies to see what I had. I had some butterflies and various floral bits and some leaves, and I'm going to just start attaching those to these 2 pieces, and then they are going to go into here in the middle like so. I think we're going to have to trim that down a bit. Yes, that is going to be too wide. So let me go back to the drawing board on that for a moment, and I'll be right back. I've worked out my mistake, and it was a cutting error. So what I've done is just trim this to the 3 3/4. I had cut it at 4 1/4, and then 3 3/4 this way, so it should have been the opposite. So I'm going to score this again at 1/2 inch. We'll just redo that. And now it's a little shorter than it was supposed to be, but I do have some little pieces left which I can actually just place in there. I'll just paper piece it because it's going to be on the inside anyway. really see that. So again, I'm going to measure down ¾ of an inch. Take this bit off. Around the corner. So this is a little bit of card making or paper crafting surgery. There we are. So now this is 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's close. It's need another little bit there. I think I can make that happen. I think I've got a piece here that, oh, that's the perfect size actually. So I'm going to use some red liner tape here to piece these together. Before I do that, I'm going to score that just to make it a little easier. So 1/2 inch score on either side. I'll bring that up like that. And then that will give us 2, 3, 4. Or I'll just trim that down. Problem solved, I think. That is going to fit in there perfectly. So now let's start going through this little tray of goodies and see what we've got. So I'm just going to fast forward through this as I have a play. And then when I'm finished, we'll start finalizing this little pop-up box card. I do apologize for the video cutting out like that, but I am back with a full battery now. But all you really miss is me applying the rest of the decoration to these panels. And I've got the red liner tape on here also, ready to place it into the box. So So I'm going to start with the back panel, and I have put this piece on the back as well. So I'm going to just remove this line, and we're nearly finished. So these tabs here with the adhesive are going to grab hold on the sides. I'm just going to slide that down into there. Get that positioned, and I can just fold it over like that, and that will allow that tape to grab onto the sides. And I'll do the same with this one. I've also put a sentiment on the front of this one here. So best friends. And again, this is going to go into the front, so I'll fold those tabs back while I slide this into place. You could use glue here if you wanted to. And again, just fold it flat like that. And if you had enough, I think I do, what I think I would do is perhaps add a piece on the back of this one as well to hide and also help secure those pieces there. So I'm going to do that. Just round that corner off. Is the pop-up box card complete. I'm very happy with that. As I said, it will fold flat. You can place that inside of an envelope. Just want to be sure you give yourself enough clearance from anything that's sticking up over the top. Now I'll bring in the ScanNCut version, which was the original, on which the Handcut version was based, and they are pretty much a match. Well, a different selection of papers and decorations, of course, but size-wise, not far off from each other. I do appreciate everyone who came to watch this video today, and I do hope that you enjoyed it and that you will give this pop-up box card a try yourself. Thank you once again also to all my subscribers, and if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so today. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you won't miss out on any future tutorials that I upload. Until we meet again then, please stay safe and crafty hugs. Bye.